All right, gang. Welcome to the very first video here on the Going Infinite podcast. I am Tom Vaughn, and we have
Tony Leon,
and we're going to bring you the latest news in the Magic world, things related to Magic, D&D, any kind of like fun fantasy stuff that you guys want to hear about. You'll get the player side, and then you'll get a little bit of the retail side. So hopefully, all the information is enjoyable to you guys. But so, how you been, Tony? How's your week been?
Very good, very good. Cold again, unfortunately. I thought we were past that, but did not. Just been preparing. SCG Con Pittsburgh is at the end of the month.
End of the month, yeah.
Trying to decide on a deck. It's well, it's not the main event, but there's a lot of modern 5Ks throughout the weekend. Probably want to play in. Just trying to decide what to do. Post Luris Band.
Yeah. And there's like not a whole lot of super paper information out there, so it's kind of hard to tell what you want to do.
No, yeah, definitely. Just trying to be here at the shop more, play more, and just kind of
get them reps in.
Yeah.
But all right. So the first thing I do want to talk about today is the big news.
Big exciting news. Dude, I'm pretty excited about this.
The Pro Tour is back, and the most important thing is the name Pro Tour is back. There is no more Mythic Championship. There's no more whatever else used to be. It is the Pro Tour. That's it. I'm excited that they brought back that verbiage. It's been like that for 30 years, and it's like I'm excited that they have that.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see them go back to, I guess, the roots of competitive Magic. I mean, this used to be broadcasted on ESPN, like those old videos.
Dang, I've never seen that. That's cool.
Oh, yeah, the late 90s, early 2000s.
On the Ocho?
I mean, there was no Pepper Brooks commentating, but yeah, the old version, like that's how, I don't know if popular is the word, but that's what it was, and that's what it used to be for a long time. And I know the last 2 years with like the shutdown of the world with COVID, paper Magic not really being what it was. And then even when Arena launched, trying to move into that esports scene, and with the MPL and then the league below it, just wasn't going so hard. It was not going well.
Yeah, for a bit there was kind of complicated. I mean, I had no idea how you queue for the Pro Tour. I have no idea, or the Mythic Championship or whatever it was, but so the Pro Tour is back. The World Championship is back. So everything is back on the table. There is a paper route to get to the Pro Tour. Yes. There is still a digital route. There is still things there. They did announce that there's going to be more ways than what there used to be to get there from the digital way. But the real exciting one is the paper route. So the first thing they announced was the Regional Championship Qualifier. So what that is if you can remember from a couple years ago, PPTQs, pre-Pro Tour qualifiers. So that's what they were. Did you ever go into any of those?
No, not at the time. I was playing more Commander at the time, but you've told me you got plenty of good stories about doing that. Yeah. Plenty of good stories.
Yeah. There was my favorite story is I won a PPTQ. It was sealed, and it was sealed in the draft. And that whole day, I only ever drafted one rare, and it was a dual land. So it's like, it's kind of a neat story that you don't always need bombs to win, but. No. So the first level is that regional championship qualifier. So pretend that they're kind of PPTQs. They are a little bit different. So they, instead of being ran willy-nilly, they are you're underneath a company in your region. So USA here, you have DreamHack, and they kind of help you run the event. They're the one that sells you the kit. Stores, every season, stores can do one event. But if your store is a WPN premium store, you get to do 2 events per season.
All right.
So if your stores have not talked to DreamHack yet, or WPN, their rep, or anything like that, just send them a message. They'll set it up. April 1st, things opened up, so you can get the ball rolling there.
Are they putting a limit on that for stores in the area to have them? Since obviously there's is there going to be a cap on the regional championship level?
Right. So to my knowledge, I think that as long as you're a WPN store, you get to do one.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed may not be the right word, but I think it's kind of under. You register with DreamHack, and then they kind of decide. So they could say, if there's six in a city, and you're like, well, we only want 3 of these, and this is the WPN store that's larger. They might do that, but it's their discretion, Yeah. So, but I would assume every store would get one.
Yeah. Foster some goodwill. Try and get people back in the stores playing some competitive Magic.
Right. Correct. And then from there, if you are able to do well in that event, you get to go to the regional championships. So that is if you're used to RPTQs. So that was
I was thinking Grand Prix because they don't do Grand Prix anymore.
Right.
So like in my head when they announced it, I sort of thought of it as more like the Grand Prix because it seemed like it was going to be bigger, and they're not doing Grand Prix right now.
Right.
So like you're technically right. I guess it is like an RPTQ because
but they might like do side events there and stuff.
Yeah.
And make it like a thing,
a whole weekend.
Yeah.
Like this is the main event.
Yeah.
And then like you obviously have to qualify for that, and then you just kind of can do whatever. If you're not there, friends, you scrub out whatever. Something to do.
Dude, my favorite thing they ever did was, and I think maybe it's because I'm a little biased because it was in Cleveland, but they did a GP and a Pro Tour at the same time. So literally in between your rounds of the Grand Prix, you could go to the Pro Tour and watch the pros play, and like and you could meet people, get stuff signed. It was the coolest thing they ever did, and I don't know how many times they did it, but they did it in Cleveland, and we got to go. It was really cool.
That's very cool. That's the part of Magic that has been missing. Obviously, not just due to the state of the world, but just honestly, it feels like Wizards was not focused on that side of it or valuing it as much. Per se, they were worried about arena and the esports push.
Right.
And there's just, I think, a lot of equity in like hanging out, meeting
the human aspect.
Yeah, meeting your favorite artist, your favorite LSV or Reed Duke of the world, and just like learning and growing and like sharing in the game, you know what I mean, in that way.
Yeah, it's like I've literally made lifelong friends. So like it's really nice that there are these big events where this is like really where you come together with your friends. Like FNM is fun and casual and it's enjoyable, but like these big events is like what you work for. You work out every week, but then the game is it's really when you get the benefit. So there is so these events they do have prizes. The Pro Tour, big one, $500,000 purse. So I don't comparatively, I'm not certain how much it is compared to in the past. It's probably on par, but there is, other than that, there are promos. Okay. So for the regional ones, the ones that will be done here, other stores, what were the promos for that?
Looks like we got a Nykthos for first, and then it was a Lava Spike for top 8.
So it was Nykthos for top 8, but the first place is foiled Nykthos. And then there's a bunch of Lava Spikes.
I did see the Nykthos art, and I really, really liked it. It's new art. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Lava Spike art, I was like, I think they've done it already. It's still cool, especially because I think it'll probably have like a special stamp or something. But like new art promos are always cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like when they commission new art, like when they recycle stuff, I get like less excited.
Yeah, it's like I already have that. Like who cares? Yeah, people
love to collect that type of stuff. Usually if I trade that stuff away per se, or like I'll hold on to it if it has like what are they doing? Like the Quarter Calling ones from like a couple years ago, and like that's sort of falling out of favor, but it's a cool card to have, or maybe your buddy plays Commander or something type of deal. So it just kind of depends, but it's good equity there. That way, like if you don't want to hold on to the card, it has trade-in value, something scarcity, something, or you just hold on to it like a trophy. Like, hey, I did this thing, I accomplished this. This is like this card means something to me.
There was like I made sure to keep some of the store championship promos from last year, the collected companies that have the store name on it. Make sure that was like really cool, and they're actually doing that again this year. So a couple times a year you'll be able to get those promos with certain store names on the card. It's really cool. But
now the format for these events at the store level, that's up to the owner's discretion?
Correct, yeah. So we get to pick. There is a couple formats. You could do Standard, Pioneer, Modern, or Limited, so that's Sealed or Draft.
Sorry, Legacy players. Just not
maybe one day they'll come back, but for now, it is nice that they let us pick. So
that is nice.
Before it was like, you stuck with this, and you get Standard for this season or Modern for this season, but like now you kind of cater to your crowd, right? So if you have a lot more Modern players and you have a more draw for Modern, then like it makes more sense to have Modern events.
Correct. Yeah, and then it's nice. You can sort of, different formats require different levels of skill or knowledge pool, luck and variance. So like you can sort of, if you're fortunate enough to live in an area that has multiple of these PPTQs going on, you can sort of pick a avenue like, oh, I'm going to drive 45 minutes because they're playing Standard here, even though I'm not going to drive 5 minutes to play Limited because I'm not a Limited player. I don't like to that often, whatever. It's nice that you can sort of pick your shot type of deal, you know what I mean? As opposed to being forced like, man, I don't play Modern, and like now it's Modern season everywhere. I guess I'm just not going to go play Magic, you know, type of deal.
But now you can. So that's a good point too.
Yeah, and then did they announce the format for the Pro Tour yet? What it's going to be? How they're going to do it?
So the regional championship. The regional championship, which is the one above the store level, will be Pioneer. Okay. And then the actual PT, the Pro Tour, will be Pioneer and Limited. So it'll be both. You'll do 3 rounds of draft, and then you'll do 8 or I forget how many, but a bunch of rounds of
was it 3 and 6? How they used to do it? 3 rounds of you would draft, have a lunch break, and then 6 rounds of constructed.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah, and then over 2 days, and you draft 2 times. So
yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm just super excited about this because I mean, I just like memories of coming here all the way back and like, gosh, like Theros Standard, just from Theros to like around Ixalan, just coming here, you would always have the Pro Tour on a TV, or you could have it on your computer, background noise, just checking in what the format's doing. And then too, I think they don't understand the value of what the buzz it creates in the shop. People are talking about it, even if you're not a super competitive player, you're like, oh, what's going on here? It's shaping the standard or whatever format it is, meta. Whatever the pros do there, they see a deck perform well. All of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, I never used that card before." Now people start playing with that card.
And then it gets banned because it's too good.
It's too good.
That's like what I always see. I was like, "This card's unplayable," and then all of a sudden, it's the best card.
And you've seen decks that were good for literally a Pro Tour, and then 2 weeks later, it's out of the meta. You can't find it online. You can't find the top 8ing. So I'm just super excited about this because I think it's super important to the whole package that like in-person paper Magic can bring
experience.
You. Yeah, something you can talk about and just sort of create that buzz and enjoy.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's the big news of the week is that the Pro Tour is back. Local competitive REL play is back. So excited. Interested to see where it's going to go. So
I mean, they have Hall of Famer Huey Jensen is the leader of the committee, and Huey came through. I mean, that's a guy that he gets it because I think that's the most qualified experience type of guy. They usually don't have these guys that have personally experienced the life, the grind. Because there's people that grind way more than like people around here. Whatever, they put a lot of effort in online, traveling with friends. So to have someone that lived that life and knows what it feels like and what pros want back, and then people at that level like lower down the try hard, it's I think they did a great job.
Yeah, there was something I read somewhere that if you were a Hall of Fame Magic player, that you would be able to get invited to the Pro Tour forever. But I think they recanted on that.
Yes, one and one per season. You get one invite to a Pro Tour and then one invite to a regional championship, but they can't be, I believe, during the same season. So like if the new Pro Tour is coming out for Pro Tour Capenna, if you already used your free invite to the regional championship for that same season window, quarter, if you will, I don't think you can double dip. I think you have to I want to cash in my regional championship invite here, and then later in the year I want to cash in my Pro Tour. If you don't qualify through accumulating enough match points and winning all that other stuff.
Okay. So PTs are back. We have another thing we wanted to talk about is the new spoilers. Obviously,
early leaks, they can't help themselves. They just I mean, these are not internal leaks like it used to be, where you'd see some terrible double copied some dude at night taking pictures in the warehouse. But they can't help themselves. Just these cards just leak out. You know what I mean? Even though I'm still in love with New Kamigawa, still exploring those cards in multiple formats. That set is, I think, one of the best standard sets in a long time. But the spoilers for New Capenna came out.
Yeah, I'm kind of I'm a little bit excited. I'm a little cautious though, because the theme personally to me is I'm not super into it, the mob scene.
Adult, but it's pretty adult. I mean, Magic is adult-ish.
Yeah,
old Magic art is adult-ish, but like you said, mob is there's no. It's not warped by Fantasyland. If you watch Goodfellas, Goodfellas it's a mob movie.
They're not casting spells at each other.
No.
But the fact that it's a 3-color set and they're kind of each mob, each clan is like have their 3 colors. Like that's like really appealing to me. I love that. Like Khans was the best. Shard, like it was just like those were the best times. Like because it's
is this the first 3-color set since Khans block?
So well,
Ikoria.
But I think they just had the lands.
And Ikoria.
It wasn't pushed.
Cards. It wasn't pushed.
Yeah, it wasn't pushed.
Yeah,
there was a 3-color theme, but it was like a minor theme. It felt like, but. So out of all the cards, didn't even jump out at you. What's your favorite one? Anything?
Well, we'll talk about some of the Lords Day spoils, some mythics, but I mean, immediately what jumps off the page, the Triomes cycle is being finished, and that's the only thing. Sorry, Ikoria, the only thing good that came from you is the Triomes. They started and they're cycling lands for 3. Usually cycling's 2 on lands, but these ones were 3. But they're fetchable tricolor lands. They're finishing that cycle. So if you're a Jund player, if you're
Esper, my favorites, I'm excited.
You get to finish that cycle, and they already showed the equity in those from standard to commander to casual tabletop.
Like those lands are like all over $10, and they're rotating out here. So, so it's like they're definitely going to be valuable to everybody.
Guaranteed to make an impact, whatever form of Magic you like to play. It is a little weird that they did not call them Triomes to me.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to call them, right? You call them like Spara's Triome.
That's right. I'm just going to say the Jund Triome, exactly. Like I'm not going to call it Xander's Lounge or something. I'm just not going to remember that. Like I do not have the ability to remember that stuff. You know, even though like they did that with a couple other, so just trying to change the in Strixhaven. Instead of calling it like is it and stuff like that from Ravnica, they had names for the schools. Sorry, I'm just not going to remember that. I learned it as Jund, so this is Jund to me. Like that's just how it's going to be.
Oh no, Silver Quill. I think I'll remember Silver Quill forever. So.
Yeah, that was the black-white one.
That was my favorite. So. But the first card that like I really liked is like the Charms. The Charms are going to be cool. They'll be neat. They'll be like some of them will be playable, but like my favorite is Esper. My favorite color combination. So it's 3 mana, white, blue, black. You get to choose one of these 3. You could either return a target multicolored permanent card with CMC 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped. So big one there, Teferi.
Big 3 mana Teferi.
I'm excited about that. So it's like an instant speed Teferi end of their turn. Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait. Counter target instant or sorcery spell. So that's like okay. It like gives you a little value in the in the late game. Just counter their big haymakers. And then finally, destroy target creature or planeswalker with CMC 3 or less. So there's just a lot on there. Like you get a counterspell, you get removal, and you get a threat. So it's like it's everything you want in an Esper card. So
right, absolutely. Control decks want to be playing at instant speed. They want flexibility, something that's not super narrow. Like you said, there's a ton of applications for whatever format you're in. Planeswalkers are a thing, like you said. Planeswalkers is an awesome way to return some type of permanent that doesn't care about being tapped or anything like that because they're Planeswalker. And then 2, just the value you'll get by untapping with that at doing it at your opponent's end step. And you get the best case scenario. You get to choose, what to do. Definitely probably, yes, they are 3 mana. Not going to probably be your 3 mana play. I mean, the kill spell side or the countering, I guess if you're like behind or something like that. But like, you're probably not going to be like what you want to play on turn 3. Charms in the past, do you play a lot of them in your deck? Do you play 1? Do you play 2?
Archmage's Charm, that one kind of came out of nowhere. That has a lot of playability, like especially like in Modern, right? So that's a lot of this is like kind of geared around Modern.
With the color, they are just the 3 colors of whatever I guess clan they are from. So that mana restriction, does that make you want to put less in your deck when you're thinking of even your standard deck, your Pioneer deck, or do you lean towards 2? 3 seems like it would be a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like you can't really like shave removal and counter spells for it because it's not like hard counters and hard removal. So it's like you kind of have to slot it in there as like a flex slot too. Yeah. Like probably like run 2 of them. It's just the utility is so high on it. Yeah. And Pioneer too, right? So Pioneer's kind of like being revitalized. It feels like it kind of feels that Standard is getting replaced by Pioneer. So like in long term, maybe Alchemy on
Arena
will take over like standard, and then now Pioneer is kind of like the paper standard thing, right?
Yeah, that would be smart. That way they don't just completely abandon Arena, and Pioneer has a ton of space to explore. I think it's cool. There just hasn't been a lot of support for it,
because it came out and then pandemic. Yeah. So, but there's the Pro Tour, the Championship, the Regional Championship. So I think that like thinking of this charm specifically in Pioneer is gonna be really good too. Yeah. So
at least decide like one in the main, one in the sideboard. It'd be hard not to at least experiment with these types of cards, because just like the command cycle usually gives you 2 options, charms are always 1, and it's usually 3 mana. But like you said, the flexibility that these cards offer, it's hard not. It's fun design space, because they always have unique effects, and then you as a deck builder, there's a lot of different avenues you can do and synergize with. So that's pretty exciting. Another charm we got here, Maestro's Charm. Another instant in the Grixis colors, so that is red, blue, and black. Choose one. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest in your graveyard.
So that's pretty neat. It's nice instead of just putting it on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, the graveyard is basically, even in standard,
decks or whatever.
It's an extension of your hand. In any format, the graveyard is like always used. Second option, each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life.
So drain.
And then Maestro Charm deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. So again, we have both these already. Usually, traditionally, control colors, control wedges. And you see here, you have a form of card advantage in option 1. Top 5 is a lot, too. Yeah. That's like a, was it Impulse? Was 2 mana instant, look at the top 5.
Right,
and then take 1. So for 1 more mana, you're getting an instant, but I think Impulse put them on the bottom. This goes into the graveyard. Yeah. So you can use flashback, Snapcaster Mage type effects.
Delve, whatever.
Delve. Yeah, whatever format you're in, you can find the graveyard is basically, it's in your hand. Right. Usually some decks accidentally take advantage of the graveyard. Second, at the very worst, if this is your main deck and you're playing an aggro deck, game 1 or anything
removal.
The draining of 3 and gaining of 3, that's basically a card, because Lightning Bolt is 3 damage. You lose 3. So if you think of 3 life as a card, that's kind of the established equivalent. So that at least it's got some application. And like you said, the removal effect, creatures or planeswalkers, that's right where we want to be at. 5 damage is a lot. A lot of these planeswalkers nowadays do have a lot of loyalty, but 5's a ton. Yeah. It should be able to snipe everything. Yeah. So that's also a very, very cool card, very flexible. Now, we don't know how these in standard, what the whole set's going to look like and how that's going to shape the format, because honestly the Mace, like any of these charms and their colors, could be the best charm, but if that wedge stinks in that standard, they just won't get played, because you can't splash these for fun like that. Don't, you know what I mean? Like you can't just be like
they work with the wedge.
If you can't be a 2-color deck and then be like, well, I'm going to splash this, maybe, but most likely no. You want to be that wedge is good in standard, it's supported well, so then I play this effect. What do you think of the? They spoiled a couple of the mythic lords, like leaders of their. I guess this would be like the leader of their
the cons, or whatever you want to call it. But so the one I wanted to talk about was the Esper one, just because it's my favorite colors. But it's important because it has a new keyword on it, right? So it's 3 mana, blue, black, white. It's a 1/4 flyer with ward 1, so it takes 1 more mana to target it with anything. And his ability is whenever you attack, target attacking creature connives X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. And then X is basically a looting effect. So for every time you connive, you draw a card, discard a card. So it's kind of it's super interesting, right? So you could put more cards in the bin, and then you have you're drawing cards. But then this guy, he wants you to be he wants you to play creatures, right? So Esper's, it usually ends up being a control deck, but I think like at its core is it's supposed to be like an artifact aggressive deck, right? Just think of the shards block, right? They were like, it was all artifacts, and they were really tiny aggressive little things. So but it's just that Esper is like, those colors just really make a control deck good. So it's so this is like kind of goes back to the roots of like what Esper is. So it's kind of neat.
I was super excited. Out of all of them, I thought this one was the most constructed, applicable right off the start, and I was the most excited about this one. I mean, you get looting effects have proven to be very good in control decks if they come down early, and they're like kind of difficult to deal with. I always think of Jace Vryn's Prodigy way back, Magic Origins. He was just playing him on 2. Even if he got killed, you just started looting. You didn't really care about flipping him. It was nice when you did. but just being able to cycle through to get, if you're flooding, you can get rid of excess lands, find the relevant card you need to not lose that early game. And he does a ton. It's unbelievable, honestly. Like he himself, casting him on 3 might be hard to have in standard. But 1/4. That 4 toughness, if you're in like a red deck, if you're playing a red deck that red base removal, that's going to be hard for them to spend 1 card to kill him for 4 damage. You're taxing the mana at the very least, which is good for you because that's going to slow them down most likely if they want to remove him. And he flies, so he can attack. This
he's
creature
going to get through pretty often.
And like early game like that, a 1/4, it's an attack trigger. So that's very important because you don't have to deal damage. So like you can attack into, even if you make a 1/1 flying token or whatever, you can still attack with him. They block, doesn't matter. You get the loot.
Your loot,
which is very important because if you're trying to fix your hand, and then it just sort of sets up your later turns pretty easily.
Yeah. Or if it is your later turns, then you can get rid of your land. Yeah. So it's like it just has a lot of utility there.
I immediately thought of Synergy. The Wandering Emperor is a super strong on-color Planeswalker, instant speed, putting counters on something. So just between the Wandering Emperor and Rafine, you can sort of use the Wandering Emperor's ability to buff Rafine. Like as you said, you don't want to be playing a lot of creatures. That's something that popped into my head. And easy
that
way,
sounds pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah, putting a counter on him, now all of a sudden you're conjuring? Convene. Connive. Mobsters connive. They're not conjuring things, they're conniving. But you can already start using your mana to like connive for more. And that's super powerful. I think you don't have to try too hard. And again, this is super early. We don't know what the rest of the cards are going to look like.
It could be junk. Who knows?
And it does say target attacking creature, so he doesn't have to attack. He can be sitting back on defense. You have a better finisher per se, and you're attacking with that card, and then it's a triggered ability off the attack. So that's pretty powerful, I would say, especially depending on what's going on. You can be attacking with a 2/2 token, and it gets the connive, right? So that's pretty a lot of options there. And again, the ward ability is sneaky good on these cards because it's sort of like a Esper Sentinel. That tax, it literally sets you back a turn most of the time. It really does. It really does.
Like you're prepared, you leave up 2 mana for Doomblade, right? And then
3 mana Doomblade's not that good. You wouldn't put 3 mana Doomblade in your deck. I think that's the whole point, right? Yeah, Doomblade's supposed to be 2. You do not want to pay 3 for Doomblade. No. The other 2, I was not super impressed with. They look cool for Commander. The Naya one, Jetmir, Nexus of Revels. It's a legendary creature, cat demon. I do love these these like we have a Sphinx demon, a cat demon. Like could you think of an evil cat? Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample as long as you control 6 or more creatures. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have double strike as long as you control 9 or more creatures.
So, like, are you trying to have like an army of cats? Is that what?
You got a cat tribal. I mean, there is some more support for that, but like, it's a 5/4 for 4 mana, so that's.
I mean, it's a commander card. Like it won't see modern Pioneer standard or anything.
You will not get past in any constructed format. If you get past the first ability, if you get up to having 6 creatures, even 6 tokens, you're winning. Like like this is like win more there. The only thing that is moderately interesting, the +1/0. It is a 5/4.
Yeah, for 4, so it's pushed a little bit.
That buffs the other team. So. As long as you control 3 or more creatures, so it does count itself.
So it'd be 6/4 if you had 2 other creatures.
Yeah, so that could be if these. The problem is usually wedges, sets, 3-color formats. They're a little bit slower.
It's true, because you got to get the mana out.
So. I mean, people played like Savage Knuckleblade back in the day, and that was a 3.
Dude, I love Savage Knuckleblade.
That card,
God.
Dude, you just got beat in the face.
I know.
And you played it usually as a 4-drop because you wanted to activate its ability.
or protect it or whatever.
So I could see standard where it's a little bit slower. Sometimes I could see some application there if you could generate some tokens, and the vigilance is relevant to sort of stay back on defense. That gives you, the turn you play it, it would be 6/4 on defense, and then your other creatures can attack.
So there might be some like big token creation cards in the set, so that might make it playable.
Maybe aggressive, like a finisher. It's like a half Lord effect, or an Anthem. You definitely probably won't get to the second effect. If you get to the second effect, that's like an Alpha Strike trampling. You're winning. Yeah, that's yeah. But those are kind of like the big cards to me. The Esper Charm and then the Esper Leader, the Sphinx Demon. So I'm excited to see the other on color ones. We got 3 and 3, so we got 2 more to go for each wedge there. That'll be pretty cool.
And there's ascendancies for each raid. They gave us the Bant ascendancy, so there'll be ascendancies for the other colors. So.
I thought real quick interesting about the ascendancy. I remember because from cons, like Jeskai says, he sometimes shows up in Modern, Steel Pioneer combo deck. It was good in Standard, but they got instant triggers, right? All of them, all 5 of them. This is at your end step.
Oh yeah, so now you can't like abuse it.
So maybe time to interact or like whatever's you get, and then you have to target the creature for this one or whatever, and then your opponent interacts. Whereas before, once you the other ascendancies, they triggered immediately, and you got the value out of them. So I'll be interested to see what the other 4, if they all trigger at end step like that, because it might make them less playable because it's hard to cast, obviously 3 mana, 3 colors. And then if you don't get the way Modern Magic works nowadays, all these cards, if you don't immediately get
value, then you're behind.
Yeah, you can't just play this, 3 mana 12/12. That kind of stinks. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that. So
that's why Tarmogoyf is $17.
It really is. Yeah. So waiting for end step, if they all wait, those abilities will have to be pretty dang good.
Yeah, and this one's kind of whatever. So at the beginning of your end step, put a 1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty. So that'll be fun in like a Traxa.
You have an Traxa commander deck that's very filthy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But so I thought that was interesting. The end step clause there. That's new to me.
Yeah. All right. So there's a lot of new spoilers. A lot more going to come out over the next couple of weeks. So
exciting. And the art on the lands looked cool. They've got that Great Gatsby vibe to you. Sort of reminded me of BioShock 2. If you ever played that game, the Rapture scene.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that. It's not steampunked, I don't think, but it's that deco. Is it Dark Yellow art style? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
But that Gatsby theme. Some of these full art lands look pretty cool, and they have alternate art for the triomes.
Showcase.
They also look pretty cool.
Full art lands, that was another thing too.
The foils will probably look great, and I'm assuming the collector boosters will have something spicy.
Yeah, a Hidetsugu, something that's like neon.
Neon triple color white.
So that's the spoilers. So we got the Pro Tours back. So we've got a couple of spoilers. Last thing I want to talk about was the Baldur's Gate, the new Commander Legends set, right? So that's going to come out
D&D themed, right?
Correct. Yeah. So that'll come out the month after. But I wanted to kind of get your take on this a little bit because I think it's a little interesting, right? So Commander Legends came out not last year, but the year before, and it was right in the middle of the pandemic, right? So there was no drafting of it. There was no there was no play with it. It was just open it, get your Jeweled Lotus, and be happy. Right?
Yeah, we got the draft amongst friends a couple times. Yeah. Once things were sort of lightening up, and that was I did enjoy the experience, but I didn't get the, like you said, come to a shop and play. We sort of had to piece together people that wanted to come hang out, and we're cool with that, and it was fun, but like you said, you didn't get the full experience.
Right. So, and if we think back right to when it came out, and this might be a little skewed because of the pandemic, but boxes, they were a little bit more than like a standard box. They were about 120, 130 bucks, like a draft box. So they're a little bit more because draft boxes are about 100, 110. So it makes sense because there's 20 cards in a pack, but there was only 24 cards in the box. Okay. So fast forward 2 years now. So now we have kind of like the pricing is coming out now, right? And it's going to be more.
Okay.
And it just, I'm just wondering, like, is it too much, right? So like let's take a peek at the set boxes, right? Okay. So let's take the draft boxes. That's the most important thing. That's why we're getting the set is to draft it.
Draft it and get your cool new commander cards, but definitely the draft. This is a draft set. Obviously, if you like you said if you didn't get to experience the first Commander Legends, this is a conspiracy type made to draft format. There are cards that specifically refer to that. You will have
a lot of partners.
Like the first one, you will draft your commander out of it. That's 100%. This isn't meant. did you do anything else other than help your commander decks out and draft? You had 100%.
So the boxes will once again still have 24 packs. That means 8 people can draft, 3 packs a person. And then right now the boxes online are selling for a little bit, like about close to $150. So there's a little bit more pricing. A little bit more. Yeah, pricing is still a little it's more expensive than like a standard set. So the other big things though is that there will be set boxes, right? And there will be bundles and collector boxes. So the first go round there was collector boxes.
Okay.
Those were a little bit more than like a standard box. They were, standard boxes are between $225, $250, and then the collector ones were closer to $300. So right now, so just to kind of give you the rundown of the prices, the draft boxes are about $150 right now. Set boxes are $150 as well. That will probably drop a little bit, and then the collector boxes are about $350 right now. So all these prices, it's really early, but like distribution is giving out costs on things, so it's like people can kind of figure out what they're doing. Their allocations are coming out, all of that. So it's interesting to see what will happen with this elasticity, because the big thing is that the set packs are back now. There was not one for there, and it's super weird because they're 15 card packs, and then there's only 18 packs per box.
So what's the point of making a draft only set?
Yeah.
Other than to get cool art, what are we doing as far as like, are they just trying to get you to spend money for the cool art? Because like you said, this is a draft. This is supposed to be a draft experience. Set boosters, as if you're not familiar with even the standard versions, not meant to draft. You can't draft with them. You cannot do that. It's just cracking for fun, getting those cool foils and alternate arts. And the list cards are in there if you're lucky enough to pull a cool list card. That's cool. But like, so what's the application of that? Why would you want that?
I think they're kind of trying to like evolve it out of a draft experience. Like it's like a side, just kind of like how standard sets are, where they're like it's like a side thing. Like you're opening it for the cool stuff, but like you could also draft with it too, right? So I think that's kind of what's happening here. Because there you can get bundles too. So it's basically like a regular standard set release, except that the focus is around Commander. Right, so I think that's kind of what they're shooting for here. Is that like it's a commander set? It's a commander set release that you can also draft, which
So like I guess gifts. Like if you're a gift giver and you want I know Tom plays Magic. I don't know much about Magic. Bundles are usually pretty good gifts. Even like they used to come out with Christmas bundles all the time, yearly theme holiday sets, something like that. But that's always like what I think of comes to mind. Like I think that's why maybe another thing that they're whatever market research they have shows is just why make a bundle of Commander Legends? Be like, well, Tony's going to buy it for a gift, for Gary. It's an easy, and you don't have to wrap it. You just grab it. Here's your gift. Cool. And who's not happy to get that as a gift? That's a nice gift. It's very nice. What about the precons? Any information on the precons? Because that's always big with the Commander decks. Every year is just, I can walk in, we're playing Commander today. I don't have a Commander deck. Buy this off the shelf, and then boom, you're ready to play the game.
Right. So there is 4 Commander decks. I believe they announced the names. I don't have those, but there'll be 4 Commander decks, and they'll be right now you can get them online for about $60. They'll probably even out around $50. That's another note too. Capenna, the pricing on the Commander decks also went up, so they'll be a little more expensive than the others. So the other sets were like about $40 a deck, so now they'll probably be closer to $50 whenever Capenna comes out. So just be cautious that like they did raise prices. It's not like everyone's just trying to make more money.
Shock. Don't walk in and just be like completely shocked about this. Sort of prepare yourself. I understand prices just naturally go up over time. That's just how the economy works. But this is kind of disappointing per se, because I know I'm going to sound like a boomer, but I remember buying a Commander precon for like $25. You could buy or like pre-order the whole set for like
$100. You get all the decks.
All five. If they were stinkers, didn't matter.
You get them.
And you had them, and that makes it a little more, I guess. Entry to the format was like a little bit easier because you're not $50 is like you said, the sticker shock. Prepare yourself. If you walk in and like I only have this much allowance money or whatever, $25 is way more manageable than $50 is. That's
they're not starter decks. They're decks.
And they've been doing the like on standard set, like how the other standard sets, like the Innistrad, the Zendikar ones, where they've been releasing those 2 Commander decks that aren't like they're like
$20, $25. Right. That was awesome.
And it's a commander deck. So that's where I sort of lose. I don't know if they just spend less time in design and designing these new cards, and that's where they come up with these prices. But it's hard for me to be fully on board with them throwing this out there, this part of the product for that type of price, when they're literally showing you like, hey, we can do this thing for way less, and it's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing. You don't get the cool new Commander exclusive cards like the Guardianship Cycle from like last year's set or something like that. But it's still 100 card Commander decks. Yeah, ready to go.
There better be good reprints. That's the only thing. There better be $50,
good reprints. Yeah, mana crypt level reprints.
Just put a mana crypt in there. Who cares? Whatever.
That's true. I guess like if the value is there, people will buy it. Like Double Masters was kind of shocking as far as the price was,
but like it's worth it.
The value was in there. The ton of mythics,
still to this day,
and people still crack it. So yeah,
I think those boxes are like $600 now, like some insane number.
I mean, a lot of those foils and stuff you could pull on
extended, like the Force of Will, like that that's the best. There was that
does look really cool,
dude. The artist did a time lapse of that where you got to see him make it. Like, it was so good. Oh my god.
Oh, like a 10K. Yeah. Those are really cool to watch though. So if they reprint a lot of the cool stuff in cards Commander players want, it's sort of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
So I guess that, which is, it's such a weird thing, but I guess they can't just. If they print some good reprints in there, it makes it more stomachable.
Yeah. There's like so the draft boxes will probably end up at what the other ones were at, around $130, $120. And then, but it's like all the other stuff around it, right? There's like it's not weird, right? It's just interesting that I in my thought process is that this is like the intro to a Commander player, right? Like, you can open the packs, you build the decks, and it's appealing to them. But it just, I don't know, the set boosters and stuff. It's just kind of, it's interesting, right?
It's weird. It doesn't apply to the format. You know what I mean? Commander players don't. Like you said, that's not part of the format. That's not part of like whatever they want specific. Once you have your commander, this is the commander I'm building, or this is the pre-con I want to build around. You start buying singles to sort of
make that better.
Make that deck better, or you want the special art for this card. You don't crack packs looking for that constructed playable card, or that chase mythic that I want to sell.
Like Raga, Raga. I see a lot of people crack packs just to get Ragavan.
Yeah, I can't help myself. I love doing that.
So, and I don't know, it's just interesting, something just to pay attention to over the next couple of weeks to see what happens. Maybe prices just tank, and who knows, but whatever. There'll be a pre-release for it too, so I don't know. No matter what, it'll be a fun set. It'll be enjoyable. It'll just be like, it'll just be different, right? Just, because last time there was a collector set, but not set. So it's just kind of the way of the future is a set, collector, draft.
How do you feel about the D&D theme for a Commander set? Because some of the cards are at the D20 thing. I don't know. Like, I don't play. To me, it seems like I don't want to say cheeseball. That sounds rude, but just interesting. The rolling of the D20s and what it means to I guess you can have more crazy effects and more unique experiences in your Commander game, that's kind of what you want. You know what I mean? You want to have like, oh man,
randomness.
You can't believe what Randy did in Commander last night. Like, he did this thing and he stole my creature, and then all of a sudden he made all these like crazy ends to the game, or interactions and synergies you don't know was going to happen. So maybe these rolling of the D20s and those random effects, because depending on what you roll, obviously the effect on the card will be different, just like it was for the standard set. I'm sure there'll be a ton of cards that reference those different things. Dungeons will probably be back in some aspect.
Just like more lore too, different like modules.
Yeah, and like people will love on theme lore stuff, creatures they always want to play with. So probably be interesting.
Yeah. All right, so just to recap a little bit, the Pro Tour is back. Super awesome, amazing information. You'll have events to get onto the track to be at the Pro Tour at your local stores. Capenna Spoilers are in full swing. Get ready for a lot more coming in the next couple of weeks. And then finally, Baldurs Gate. The information on the set, some of the packaging's out. So just keep an eye out. It'll be you'll get to see some cool stuff about it in the next couple of weeks, or probably after Capenna stuff. But like a little bit of information is trickling out. I'm sure spoilers will get leaked.
Yeah, absolutely. So. They just can't help themselves. Just people like I know we got new Capenna, and they're like, but Baldur's Gate too. It's just trying to appeal to everyone.
It's all
magic.
Actually, like right now on the Infinity set was supposed to come out April 1st, but the logistics issues. So actually we should be talking about Infinity right now, April 1st. So.
Talk about a draft only set.
With them lands though, the dual lands.
They always kill those lands. Yeah, those lands are always good.
Yeah. But so that's about it here for me. At the end of every episode, though, we want to do something really cool. Yeah, something fun with you guys. We have a booster pack here of Maestro 25, and what we're gonna do, a little bit of some sort of the 20 question thing where Tony's going to give some information to us, and we're going to try and guess what the rare in the pack is. So hopefully it's not something too hard. It's a reprint set, so we've seen these cards a couple of times. So if you want to go ahead and crack it open, let's see what we can do.
We got a Masters 25. That was when Jace got unbanned, right? Jace Mind Sculptor?
Yeah, so the set came out, Jace was in it, and then they unbanned him, and then everybody went insane. Yeah. So they were like, oh, they're doing it to sell the set. So...
just going through here, we got a bunch of nothing crazy at the common level that I remember in this set. No peek, no cheating. Over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So actually, this is crazy. We were just talking about this card. It is a creature in white, and it is very taxing on your deck as a control player.
Is it Thalia?
It is Thalia.
Oh,
Guardian
look at that.
Favorite.
Oh, man.
Just like we just referenced earlier, dude. Thalia, speak of the devil, she's back. This is
Death and Taxes. There it is.
Powerhouse through all formats. So this card, I mean, it's thanks to Red and 6, it's less played in Modern right now, but they just got reprinted in Standard. Probably will show up in Pioneer. And just even all the way back to Legacy. Like you said, Death and Taxes and Legacy. This is one of the vialing it in and just, it being first striking blocks pretty well, and just a very iconic card. This is pretty cool. That's part of the theme of Masters 25,
it's so
right?
funny we were talking about it.
Didn't they just pull iconic cards from all the sets over 25 years of Magic? And this is definitely on theme for
Dark Ascension.
Yeah, you think of Innistrad, Thalia is one of the things that pop right to mind. You think of vampires, werewolves,
and Thalia.
Human size, and Thalia. Awesome pool. Yeah. Awesome pool.
All right. So that's it for us on the Going Infinite podcast. I'm Tom Vaughn.
I'm Tony Leon.
And thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you.